Hello everyone. Let us wait for one more minute. While we are waiting, please do me a favor. Use your chat to text us your name, what you do, and why you're here. You know, it's not that easy to blind transmit to completely anonymous audience, so it will help us a lot. And I will see it in the comments. Just a little bit. Oh yeah, hello Nelly, thanks. Hi, Matthias. Okay, let's get started. First of all, thanks for joining us today. It's a pleasure having you here. Let us introduce ourselves first. Let me see. Yeah, my name is Artem Tinchurin. I'm co-founder and CTO at Fastuna, and today I will be speaking with Ася Zoria, who is heading our artificial intelligence laboratory, and she is the mastermind behind our conversational technology, our conversational platform. In the Fastuna itself is a research platform for new product development focused on efficiency via automation and expertise. Today, we will talk a little bit, about the technology itself. Then we will share our predictions of its impact on marketing research industry. And during the second part of the presentation, we will talk about conversational research. We'll explain why we believe it is the next big thing for our industry and why we are investing in it. If you have any questions, feel free to send them using the chat. We will answer them at the end of the presentation. So, the impact. On November 30, 2022, ChatGPT was released to the public. Like I believe many others, we quickly realized it was an entirely new reality. And we started to experiment with the technology, trying to somehow harness it. But before going deeper into implication of this fancy new technology, let me argue that the technology itself is not that new. ChatGPT is basically, it's a blend of chatbot capability and a large language model. Language models has been with us for quite some time. Before getting large, they used to be small and humble. Look at the sample example on the screen. It's an example of an everyday language model application. It demonstrates, to my taste, very precisely what language models really do. They autocomplete the text input, and they do so by predicting the most probable completion of the sentence you give to them. This simple, no magic, pure math and statistics. However, large models have proven to be far more capable, demonstrating very interesting abilities that sometimes might look like a magic. And I'll give you an example. The first practical task I tried to do with ChatGPT, after having some fun with it, asking the model to solve the trolley problem. And by the way, the model decided to move the railway switch to kill one human to save 5, in case you're interested. Back to the practical task. What I did, I uploaded onto the model transcripts of interviews with human respondents on a topic of ideal country they wanted to live in. Pages of unstructured text. Then I have the model. I gave the model some instructions using a natural language, plain English. With some iterations, I got something that looked like a really good codebook. I didn't believe it. I did a manual check and didn't find anything to complain about it. It was a good or even better than a human manager could do. So we carried on with our experiments, and it appeared that you could go quantitative, adding percentages to that codebook, or you could ask the model to go find a good quotation to illustrate a particular factor. Or you could ask the model to rearrange the list to your liking. All this using natural language instructions. Other way around, you can ask the model to read your cross tabulations for you all at once and describe them using, again, a natural language of your preference. It's not that type of functionality hasn't been available before. It was. If you were a restaurant chain of, say, hundreds of locations across the country and you wanted to analyze your customer reviews in an automated way, you could do so in, say, 6 months and with the help of your data science department. Now you can do it all by yourself by simply asking what you want to, using more or less any language of your choice. Like giving instructions to your assistant or your supplier. The point I'm trying to make here is that large language models are now harnessing humanity's most powerful, and let me stress it, humanity's most powerful tool, language. This makes us believe this technology will disrupt many areas of our lives, consumer insights included. Here is a brief overview of our predictions of midterm impact of the technology on our industry, our thinking about it. Let us see. 1 and 5, the front line. It is the most conservative part of what we do, hence the least impact. However, the technology will likely be massively used to assist human researchers with preparing their proposals and reports. It will be an optimization rather than disruption, but still it will be noticeable. Point number 2, setup. Well, again, more likely optimization rather than disruption. More and more surveys will be auto-generated based on purely research objectives, previous projects done, and other valuable information stored in agencies' knowledge base. Points number 3 and 4, data collection, data processing, and analysis. This is where we see a real transformational potential for disruption. And it is closely related to today's main topic, which is conversational research. So let's go for it. Excuse this overly sugary picture. It's not my fault. It's all, OpenAI. Imagine you are organizing a trip for a small group of friends. What would you do to uncover each person's preferences in this case? Most likely, you would initiate casual conversations, either talking or texting with them individually or in groups. In other words, you will embrace a qualitative approach. It's not very likely that you would deploy a comprehensive U&A study or a concept test when there are just 10 people to talk to. However, if your task involves coordinating, say, team building events for 200 employees, your strategy might shift towards a quantitative approach instead. The point here is while our innate preference leans towards engaging in dialogues with fellow humans, scaling this engagement forces us to adopt more structured communication methods, such as polls and surveys, because we just can't talk with 200 people within any reasonable time frame or effort. This quantitative shift implies a compromise on both ends. Those asking, we are sacrificing our sense of deep understanding. And those responding, I believe no one here believes that our respondents truly love our quantitative surveys, right? We end up with low engagement and data quality like this. While not terrible, it's not particularly insightful as well. It is not particularly insightful as well. And the thing is, you cannot solve the problem by just adding more open-ended questions. The reason for that is that professional research moderators, they do much more than just repeating their questions like, oh, interesting, what else, go on. What they really do, they provide safety, they have flexibility and intuition to guide the discussion into the most promising direction. And they also know how to mitigate their own biases. If we want to automate conversations, we have to teach our artificial agent to do all this. And it looks like with the current state of technology, it is not the mission impossible anymore. To track the progress, it's helpful to have some sort of a scale. We distinguish 3 stages of an automated interviewing agent development. Level 1, basic probing. The agent strictly follows the research guide. For each question in the guide, it generates 1-2 relevant follow-up questions in a very, mechanical way. But it already helps in terms of the data quality and the richness of the data. Level number 2, we call it question level autonomy. And we ourselves are at this level at the moment. The agent has a bit more flexibility, freedom here. It doesn't just, ask fixed number of follow-up questions here. Instead, it checks if the answer it gets feels sufficient and keeps probing until satisfied. And also, it knows certain techniques, more complex techniques. As I will elaborate on this a little bit later, how to get good answers. Level number 3, it's called interview level autonomy. The agent can change up the entire interview flow as needed to get better results, just like a human interview would do. The last point I want to make here, when we say conversation, it's important to remember there are 2 conversation loops in what we do. The first one is between researcher and consumers. The second one is between the same researcher and business. With the advances in technology, we can at least start thinking about replacing the human head in the middle of those 2 loops with a digital one, gradually shifting towards business question in, business question out, self-service concept, step by step. This is all from my side. Now Asa will deep dive into more practical details of conversational research. Asa, please.
Yeah. Hello, everyone. So yes, we built AI agent for conversations with respondents, and it conducts interviews on any topic by following the guide and asking probing questions. It may deliver hundreds of interviews in a single day, and it can adapt its style and vocabulary according to the task and the audience itself. Then it summarizes interviews and emphasizes only important details. The data collected with this approach allows us to combine qualitative and quantitative analysis. Now, let's see how it looks at our own platform. Um, so, yes, this is the basic concept test. Here we have just 4 questions of the guide, and this is where we can set up some greeting from our agent at start. And then here we can also add some description of the idea that we would like to test with images or videos. And finally, we got a link to start the conversation with a bit of nerd research panel tools like redirecting links. And then let's jump to our chat. It is generally it is just a messenger-like interface, and here we show materials, and then we are discussing them with panelists or just respondents. And now you can look how much information we got from just 4 questions of the guide. These are, in fact, it's just a common respondents from the panel. So it's the same people who usually take part in surveys. But now we got from them not a single answer, but the whole storytelling about what they think, that what they feel about the idea. And you can note that in this survey we have different languages. That's because this study was happened not only in the United Kingdom but also in Germany, and our agent can communicate in all popular languages while the translation is automatically done. So at the setup stage, when we wrote the guide, actually there is no any need in translation. And to my opinion, the even cooler thing is that here all the data can seamlessly merged and then generalized. So it has even quotes. So you can check each conclusion that was dropped if you want to. And also the cool thing that such a simplicity is not only about the languages. What we've done actually, it is a deeper understanding of any language, and we can have in-depth discussions with professionals, and these discussions now are easier than ever because we can effectively talk to everyone from in this example we have Chinese-speaking game developers, and we also tested some new products with dental hygienists, and AI was successfully using professional lexicon. So we really have done a lot to make the model work in a right and predictable way. But the bigger challenge for us was that people themselves are still kind of unpredictable. So we can't foresee everything that can go wrong. And this is why people generally hate chatbots. But the good thing is AI doesn't really need the precise logic. For us, it's quite enough to explain in natural language what kind of behavior we do expect in this on that case. And so our smart tool can moderate the dialogue by itself. And as Artem said, in terms of the classification that we have discussed before, we have now reached level 2 in building the conversational agent, which means it has autonomy at the level of each question. And people do really love it. As AI, what is really AI delivering is the basic level of empathic communication. We got extraordinary results by using AI probing. It allows us to dig more deeper and deeper, and we can get any any insight. And actually, it is surprising how it works, because by showing the respondent that we really hear them, we prove that their opinion now matters to us. And just one reply with AI increases the number of the words in the response by average of 700%. So let's now highlight what benefits we got from AI conversational research. Firstly, for the quant part, it means more human data. Better experience for people means that they are better engaged, and of course, it leads to better quality. It also means deeper understanding of the data itself. And except for numbers, you always get reasons to all of your wise questions. And for the qual part, it's definitely the scale. 2 points here. First, you can at first you can do qual research way more often. You can actually do it as often as it deserves to be done. And second, the bigger sample sizes are finally allows us to get the validation of each in-depth conclusion. So you can now uncover insights and at the same time do sizing, raking, estimating, so all in one study. And as a matter of fact, it's getting really hard to distinguish between pure quant and qual now. We think the adoption of conversational research will finally erase the border between these two approaches. So last thing that we discussed today is to prove all these conclusions. I will share an amazing case where we have done, for one of our clients, we have done 750 in-depth interviews. And we done it in order to understand the key factors which lead to success of the commercial. And during this survey, we talked to 700 people about their most memorable adverts over the last year and got a detailed narrative for each commercial. And after these narratives, we identified spontaneously named elements in each advert. And in the result, we've got a really bright and in-depth understanding of all these factors of success. So we do know now what's behind these factors, and we can not only rank them, but our conclusions can really be used in practice in order to create better adverts. So that's for today. It's all that I would like to say. So, yeah.
Asa, can you move to the next slide, please?
Yeah, of course.
Yes, because I don't have it for a reason. Before we go to the questions, let me do a closing remark here. This is basically it from our side for today. We have more cases lined up, with the next one focusing on sex toys. This should be an interesting challenge for our interviewing agent, I think. So follow us up. Visit the product's landing page for more hands-on experience with our agent. You can try it here, there. Do send us demo requests if you are interested and want to talk. Now we have some time for a Q&A session, I believe. And we have some questions. Marat, would you please show them on the screen? Oh, I see them. What specific research tasks are best suited for solving with Fastuna AI? I answer this question. It's work to be done, because I think what we are dealing with will be a fundamental change. As Asi explained, the borderline between quant and qual will, at some point, we believe it will disappear. So the new tech will allow us to run this conversational research, that are both quantitative and qualitative. But I think, well, to start with, I think you can think of running a concept test, because we know that many clients, they love to test the ideas qualitatively instead of quantitatively. And I think it's a good use case, the first one. You can think also towards exploratory studies, like an UNT study. And just imagine, you can run a UNT study using this technology without any proper upfront preparations. Like when we want to run a quantitative UNT study, we have to do our homework, do the questionnaire, do some sort of qualitative research upfront to make a good questionnaire. With this technology, you don't need this, because it's both qualitative and quantitative in one bottle. What is the attitude of the respondents towards AI-powered moderation? Asya, would you answer the question, please?
Yes, actually, the attitude of respondents are quite cool. We got about 87% of positive feedback from respondents. So most of them are really excited with the experience. And we see that people say that it is more convenient for them, and it is more. It has more fun. And I think that fun thing is the main point, because the study is becoming really we've got involvement, and people get joy from this, and we have better insights that we got, and I think respondents respondents are really love it, as I said before. And our statistics shows that we have also not so many unqualified data as compared to the regular studies. So we have a less percent of fraud. So it's quite cool.
What media can be incorporated? Images, audio, video. I believe all that. I see that correct?
Yes, we can test both images, videos, and just text, and we can format it in any way. So we can test several videos, several images. It's all possible.
Are you guys trying to model the AI panel, not the interviewer? Actually, not. Yeah, I know this is sort of a widespread idea that we won't need respondents anymore, because we will be so smart that we will be able to model their behavior incomplete. But I don't believe it. I don't believe in this scenario, because it implies that the model should be complete, but it won't be complete. Well, it can be complete without receiving no information from real humans when time passes. So I don't believe in this way of thinking. For qualitative research, definitely yes. For some, well, take an example with an UNT study. If we shortcut the preparation stage, I think we won't be able, like the industry overall, will be able to cut our costs, and hence pricing for the end clients will be able to be lower, I would say. So
yeah, and also I should add that the type of service that we are making now were no possible before, because this is really huge amount of qualitative data. So doing hundreds of interviewing that way, that's just I can't imagine doing it by a classic method when you are speaking face.
I couldn't agree more. It's not only about the cost side. It's about new abilities, new possibilities to run new types of research and to get results never achievable before, unachievable because they were beyond the horizon of reasonable budget, such sort of things. Also, this technology has, I believe, it has the potential of making research more, approachable, not in terms of time or investments, but more approachable in terms of that you can understand it. Because to run a quantitative study, you need to be a quantitative researcher. To run this type of study, you might not be a good researcher yourself. One day.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's easy. There's such an issue with the models themselves. We are well aware of such things, and not the technology. Well, let me argue that the technology doesn't work out of the box. You have to do lots of very techy, nerdy, and methodologically sophisticated things to make it work for your task. It took us 6-7 months to develop the current version of the platform. And what you do, one of the tasks is, you cross-check everything with the data source. It's doable, and we have it within our own platform.
Yeah,
But by the way, go on.
Yeah, I actually showed it, but yes, when I was showing the reporting, we got every conclusion supported by the numbers of the interview, and we can actually check with that. So it's quite a simple way to check.
What you can also do, you can ask the model to mix a number of quotations together to give you a better quotation that will incorporate, which will be a blend of real world quotations from real humans. In some cases, well, let's be frank here. Many moderators, when preparing their PPT reports, they do just the same to make it more presentable. So you have options, and it's very you can trace it to the data source. Yeah, well, if you want my comment on this, I think it's manageable. From the technical perspective, it's manageable. We have to think about, the use case behind that. Well, in the end, you will need to try and decide whether it makes sense, whether it adds anything to what what is achievable in an automated way, in purely automated way. But thanks for the idea. Let's wait 1 minute more.
I see one comment about, about building. Yes, it has basically a chat interface, but we can add a screener part. If I understand the question correctly, yes, we can add some classic screener to get better qualified respondents, and that's the thing we usually do. And now we are training to do a smart screener, because we made some experiments, and AI actually can understand how what questions should we ask to get a proper screening, because you can do it directly by face, and you should do some research tricks to screen the audience. But yes, it is our next step, building this kind of screener. Now we are just working with chat. We have a link, so the respondent from its source jump directly to the chat, or to the screening part that is that is set up in regular way. I mean, just as a way with closed questions with the variants. Yeah.
But I would like to add, taking in account the ever-rising problem of fraud respondents, and especially bots, I think there is a good potential in screening respondents in this new way. I think there is a capability in this technology that will allow us to screen better. And less invasive than the current method, less invasive for participants, survey participants. Yes.
Yeah, and as I just realized that maybe the question was about other thing. It's about the process of setting up the study. Maybe if you are asking what it looks regular like, no, you should for now in our platform you should write the questions by yourself. It's not like a chat interface when we are setting up. It's not like ChatGPT. It's of course a list of closed a list of questions that we should ask, and then our conversational agent takes this guide and setting the survey for the respondent based on it. From question to question, it switches automatically when it knows that the proper amount of information is delivered by the respondent. So that's the thing that we've done.
So, if we don't have any more questions, I suggest we close the session. Thanks for being with us today. And if you are interested in a personalized demo, let us know. Anyway, we're here for you. Thanks very much, and see you again, hopefully soon. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you.